Challenge runs are super fun, and I love Persona 5 Royal. I mean, you can clearly tell that by watching any of my fucking videos. So I thought, you know what, I'm gonna play through the entire game with one of my favorite Personas that is completely underrated and nobody ever fucking uses, Pixie. That's right, we're playing through the entirety of Persona 5 Royal using only Pixie because she's a bad bitch and I want to see her succeed. So, yep, playing on Merciless, no New Game Plus. We're going through the entire game with Pixie, no other Persona. There is one exception to the rule, and that is Arsene. On Merciless, it is really hard to just get more than just Pixie to fuse. So we go through the fusion tutorial, and then we just buy Pixie again and get rid of the other two. We cool? We're cool. Let's get into it. Also, obviously, there's going to be spoilers, so if you haven't played Persona 5 Royal, I mean, obviously I recommend it. But if you haven't, and you want to, don't watch the video. Come back later when you have played the game. Okay? Cool. We start the game, sign Igor's contract, and pan into a casino surrounded by the police. Joker is jumping through and gets spotted by the police, so we must escape through the casino's back rooms. We run through to the easy tutorial fights, with Kasumi joining us on the last one because that made for one hell of a good pre-release trailer, and we got caught by the police. I sign my name as Pixie only, Sainijima comes through, starts questioning us so she can understand the Phantom Thieves. This is where the story really begins. We flash all the way back to when we moved to Yongen-Jaya. Sojiro allows me to live in his cafe attic in a passive-aggressive manner. I signed up for school and they get ready to go the next day. We meet an attractive blonde girl named An, but we don't know that about her yet. A teacher gives her a ride and Ryuji chases the car and calls the teacher a perv. We walk to school together, but somehow we reach a castle. The guards attack us and lock us away. Kamoshida, the pervy teacher, is about to kill Ryuji, but thanks to our resolve, we awaken to Arsene, the persona that we'll be using until we get Pixie. The guards die easily, we escape the jail cell easily, and then we run. We meet a cat named Morgana, and he helps us escape. We got in trouble by our homeroom teacher, Miss Kawakami, says I came in late because I wasn't feeling well, but An knows that I'm fucking lying. Ryuji convinces us to go back in later, we investigate the castle, get caught when we're about to escape, causing Ryuji to feel guilty, but with a little encouraging push from yours truly, Ryuji rebels against Kamoshida, causing him to awaken to his persona, Captain Kid. We fight one of the guards, beating him with relative ease. We tactically retreat and basically ditch Morgana. Back at the school, Ryuji and I investigate Kamoshida's abuse. We learn nothing, and Morgana tells us of a different option, to change his heart by stealing his treasure. We're skeptical, but just wait until later, it's gonna happen. We see An and Shiho talk, Shiho leaves, and we follow An because she seemed distressed. Shiho gets called into Kamoshida's office, and anybody with a brain can assume what Kamoshida did, because the next day we see Shiho jump off the fucking roof. An goes with Shiho to the hospital to comfort her. Ryuji is fucking pissed, so we go straight to Kamoshida's office. Because Kamoshida's a fucking loser, he tells us we're about to be expelled at the next school board meeting. So that means we are changing this bastard's heart. An tries to find out what we're gonna do, but Ryuji hardcore pushes her away from our business. We enter the palace and An was nearby, so she's here too. We force her out and start exploring. She comes back, gets caught by the knights, and gets taken away. We find her and see pervy Kamoshida try to cut An's clothes off before killing her. We remind An of common sense, so she rebels and awakens to her persona, Carmen, and now we have our fourth party member, finally making us whole like wheat in bread. I don't fucking know, shut up. Belphegor is ironically full of shit and easy to beat down. We leave the palace to await exploring another day. After discovering Takemi and Iwai, we start freely infiltrating the palace. This palace is one of the easiest palaces in the game, yes, even considering being at starter level. There is little to no challenge in this palace. I did get my first 2 deaths here though, during the Mara Slime Seed fight because I want to fight as many bosses as possible and Will Seeds are cool, and during one common encounter because luck just wasn't on my side. Archangel saw me and decided to be just like his favorite Nickelodeon cartoon, Jimmy Neutron. We fight Kamoshida and he is honestly very easy. After taking out his trophy, I kept trying to end the fight earlier by sending party members to steal his crown, but I didn't do enough damage to distract him a single time. But it was apparently enough damage to just fucking hurt him, because with the majority of the fight only having 3 party members, I was still able to get his health low enough to inevitably decide, fuck it, I'll DPS him down to 0 HP. So that's exactly what I do, and on my first attempt, we defeat Kamoshida. After that, I get Ryuji's confidant rank to rank 4 by the deadline, and then Kamoshida confesses to all of his crimes. And with the money we earned from the heist, the group decides to go to the Wilton Buffet. We name our group the Pixies, and we vow to start stealing the hearts of rotten adults not for our own sake, but for social reform, which leads us to the next chapter of our journey. Morgana teaches us about Mementos, a place where shadows that aren't super powerful manifest with distorted desires. We explore Mementos for a bit and steal somebody named Nakanohara's heart. After that, we head out but run into Josei, and he tells us about how he's learning about humans and drinks flowers. This is only in the game to give Mementos a currency to buy items and to give us a special surprise way later in the game. Dr. Maruki is hired to work at Shujin Academy. He is there as a therapist for all students who are having trouble. Dr. Maruki makes a deal with us, so we help him study the human heart, and he provides us with great mental health knowledge and exercises. We also find out that Maruki is Kasumi's therapist, which will be important later. Exams happen, and after the exams, we head to school, and An notices somebody following her. We stop the blue-haired gentleman and learn that he's a young artist named Yusuke Kitagawa. He is getting mentored under famous artist Madarame's wing. Yusuke asks An to model for him and invites us to Madarame's exhibit. We all decided to go and notice that Yusuke is acting odd next to a certain painting. We went with An to go visit Yusuke because we wanted to talk to him. We ask him about rumors surrounding Madarame, and Yusuke says it's preposterous. We put Madarame's name into the metanav anyway, and it turns out he does have a palace. We explored the palace for a bit, but then decided to stop after gaining a few bits of information. We're still skeptical on whether to steal Madarame's heart or not, but later in the night, Mishima tells us that somebody on the forum wants to meet with us. This turns out to be Nakanohara. We stole his heart in Mementos because he was stalking his ex, but he tells us that he's changed his ways and wants us to help stop Madarame's reign of tyranny. Supposedly, Yusuke wants to leave, but lacks the power and necessities to do so. So we approach Yusuke again by having An model for him. It doesn't go well, and he threatens to call the authorities. However, we make a deal with him to where we don't come back and An continues to model, which it turns out to be for a new drawing. We leave and decide to steal Madarame's heart, before we get in trouble and before Yusuke can see the curse that is the horny. Madarame's palace isn't too difficult for the first half, just some basic stealth in one section where I have to free the party from a laser trap that Morgana set off. Fucking loser. But once that's done, we learned about the treasure demons, and they can be helpful in terms of fusion or just money gain. We reach a certain point and we can't continue because of a door that is locked in the real world. In order to unlock the door, we have An go in as decoy, and we assure her that she will not be nude in the process. While An is doing her thing, Ryuji and I have to work on getting through the door in the metaverse. Morgana opens the door right as Madarame enters the hallway. An drags Yusuke into the room, and we learn that Madarame has been making counterfeit paintings of his most prized piece, the Sayori. Yusuke starts to believe that the Sayori was stolen and that Madarame made counterfeits to help with his financial situation. But An uncovers that bullshit lie by showing off the real Sayori in the same room. Why would he keep that there? Madarame reports the two of them to his security team, so they escape into the metaverse to stay safe. Meanwhile, with all that happening in the real world, Ryuji and I have to deal with the security, and right before the Nue fight, I remembered that Nue knows Maeha, which Pixie is weak to. So this fight required me to guard most of the time, only ever healing when necessary. I basically used Ryuji to blast Nue away with headbutt. It's fine. Alright. That was an endurance test, but I did it. I actually had to think for that one. After that, we lower the security and head back to the courtyard where we see An and Yusuke fall in. Yusuke is still offended that we call Madarame evil, but one quick glimpse around him and he begins to see it. We escort him out of danger while he observes his surroundings in a bit of sadness. We get to the statue and Shadow Madarame reveals himself. Madarame says he did the evil with no remorse, and so Yusuke ruins his fingers and summons his persona, Goemon. We have to fight 5 shadows, but Goemon bodies all of them with no casualties on our side. We escape the palace and welcome Yusuke to the team. After that, we go through the rest of the palace with ease, no problems at all. Once we find all 3 will seeds, we fight Arahabaki in Madarame's palace. I failed the first attempt because Arahabaki hit like a truck and brainwashed every party member, killing us with a Masio, but we got him on the run back. We sent the calling card and the old man swore that Ocarina of Time was the best game ever and got pissed when we said it was just okay. We steal the treasure and realize that it wasn't the treasure, and that Madarame was holding on to it. We learn the origins of the Sayori and how Madarame basically had Yusuke's mother killed after she painted it. With no more remorse, we fight. Madarame becomes 4 paintings and is kind of annoying to fight, only because each section of the paintings has different weaknesses, and the mouth does pretty big damage. I switched Ryuji out for Yusuke since I have Zio on Pixie and Yusuke is better with baton passes. First attempt ends pretty quickly since the eyes know elemental magic. They use ice on me and Pixie likes her coffee warm, so we die. Damage. Go down. Okay, there's a death. Cool.
Only your 4th, though? You have played the game a lot, so you know it's kind of your fault. You're just bad.
I forgot that he had an ice move. After that attempt, the fight goes relatively okay since they just didn't use ice on me the second time. A bit later, Morgana is slathered in black paint, meaning that he is weak to everything, so it's time to guard. The guarding did fucking nothing, so we revive the damn cat, and then the eyes try to kill me with ice, but the same tricks won't work twice, so I dodge. Another annoying thing about this fight is the slight restoration of health if you kill one of them. They revive each other, but they don't heal by much, so it's like a slight annoyance more than anything. After the paintings are defeated, Madarame creates clones of himself, clones that use elemental attacks. This segment is easy if you baton pass correctly while also hitting all the weaknesses. We beat the professional fraud painter Ichiryusai Madarame, and Yusuke tells him that he low-key kinda smells bad and tells him to go to jail for it. After that, we have to clean the park. We have Kasumi with a very middle-aged man who is just horrible. I mean, look at him. And then she leaves to get her gym clothes. After that, we see some characters we don't know yet. We find Kasumi again and forge a deal to help her with mental health? She just needs to get better gymnastic results, so we help her with that somehow. Afterwards, we do the Big Bang Burger Challenge to train our stomach. We find out that Sadayo Kawakami, our homeroom teacher, has a second job as a maid, and we go into Mementos, hang out with An and Takemi. All of that until Madarame cries over the fact that he's smelly stinky pee. You! And afterward, Ryuji wants to go somewhere to hang out. Ryuji takes us to Kichijoji to play darts. While walking there, we discover that Makoto fucking Nijima is trying to be solid fucking Snake. This teaches us that we can level up our party members' baton pass ranks by playing darts with them. So after that, I worked on confidants for a bit, and we got to more story, with me walking Kasumi home in the rain. Then directly after, I went back to the school and decided to hang out with Maruki. We learned a bit throughout this part of the game that Kobayakawa was having Makoto find more information on the Phantom Thieves, since we are heavily linked to Shujin Academy. It got to the point where Kobayakawa put up flyers saying that all students should report their issues to the student council. Obviously, this starts to overwhelm Makoto since a lot of the issues talked about were trivial, but there was one that stuck out like a sore thumb. While that happens, we take a field trip to a TV studio. We watch and help them film How I Met Your Father. One of the possible dates comes to me after the filming. His name is Goro Akechi, and he single-handedly created one of the worst memes I've ever seen used in a fanbase. But that meme is the main plot point, it will be important, and we just kinda have to deal with that. After we met the man, we went to an amusement park. On the next day, he tells us that he thinks we'd be a great one-off character for How I Met Your Father, but we tell him we'd rather be young Sheldon, but we grow a friendship anyways. Gossip time! Makoto thinks we're the Phantom Thieves, so An and Ryuji tell her off. She gets big sad. The gang hangs out after that, and we have an epic hot pot in LeBlanc. We learn everyone's backstory besides Morgana because he's a put. The next morning, Yusuke gives Sojiro the Sayori, since he believes that his mother painted it to have the world see it. You think we'd be tracked down from this, but nah, we're good. Makoto's sister Sai Nijima basically tells Makoto that she eats away at Sai's life. Supposedly this was said from stress, and now Sai is very mean, but that doesn't mean she isn't hot. We are called to the student council office after a few days. When Makoto left after An told her off, she recorded us talking about our Phantom Thieves business. She knows we're the Phantom Thieves and is blackmailing us to hunt a target. We have to go with it since she knows who we are. We meet on the school roof the next day and learn that the students talking to the student council were connected with the Mafia. And they're being blackmailed by the boss to give him money since he has pictures of these kids handling drugs. Makoto wants us to steal the boss's heart, but we have no info on him other than that he usually works in Shibuya. We have to track him down hard for this one. And if we do, we'll be proven just by Makoto and we'll be helping a shit ton of people. It's time to investigate. Directly after that, Yusuke asks us to help him with his art block. This is good for us since we can use them to make a skill card so our supplies last forever. After a few days of investigating the school in Central Street, we track a guy who works for the Mafia. I set up for Makoto when things are starting to get rough. We stop investigating for the day, and Makoto tracks our phone number, just to say thank you. While we were working on Madarame, a news reporter named Ichiko Oya asked us about Madarame and if we knew any drama. I didn't mention her because it was kinda minor, but she gave us her business card, and we decided to contact her to see if we can learn the boss's name. We go through Ryuji and learn that the man's name is Junya Kaneshiro. We're ready to guess the keywords. While leaving, some fabulous men try to dress Ryuji up to make him pretty. We guess his keywords and find out that Kaneshiro thinks of Shibuya as his bank. The people are ATM machines, and the bank is flying, so we have no way to enter. We have to give up for the day and come back later. We need to get in contact with Kaneshiro to find a way to access his bank. Makoto hears us and decides to forcefully get in contact with him. We chase her back to Kaneshiro's hideout, and now he's gonna blackmail us with the picture of us next to the fun stuff. He wants us to get him 3 million yen in 3 weeks, so now we have an official deadline. We leave with Makoto, she apologizes, we have a bit of a heart-to-heart, and Morgana points out that this is exactly what we needed. Now that Makoto is a member of Kaneshiro's bank, we have full access to it. We enter and get taunted by Kaneshiro, they tighten security as we make a break for the entrance, and we get surrounded. Kaneshiro calls Makoto a sissy baby whack cry about it, and she finally gets tipped over the edge and awakens to one of my favorite personas, Johanna. And then I died twice in this awakening fight. We eventually get through it though. I work on confidants and play darts with my friends up their baton pass ranks, and then I eventually go back to the bank. The bank is an easy and fun dungeon. I only died once outside of the awakening fight. I was worried about the boss fight because Kaneshiro has a gun attack named Ocular Vulcan, which is one of Pixie's weaknesses, and it's a weakness that cannot be covered. But I never got hit by that attack, so I was just a balance of buffs, healing, and damage. Kaneshiro eventually sent out his fly guards, and we just give them ailments so they can't do anything. This boss fight isn't hard in the slightest. Kaneshiro loses and tells us about a Persona user with a black mask. How descriptive, you fucking peanut. We get a golden briefcase with Kaneshiro's wacky bucks. Thankfully, the briefcase is worth a good amount of money. Since we finished the palace, we can start a confidant with Makoto and get her social link buffs. Fun fact to all you Persona players or people that don't know, Makoto is the only confidant that can get started from a palace or from a story arc by finishing the palace early. In Okumura's, you can't do it with Haru, and you can't do it with Yusuke and Madarame. This is the only time where you can actually do that. That's the best I'm going to be able to word it. Kaneshiro confesses covertly, but we find out thanks to news outlets, and we plan to celebrate our victory. Hooray! We try and watch fireworks, but it gets rained out, so we decide to celebrate some other way. We get news about a hacker organization named Medjed, but it isn't too important right now, so we invite everyone over to LeBlanc for a study session. We romance On because Pixie is associated with a Lover's Arcana, so I thought it would be for the best to do it that way. Also, On is a well-written character, and I do like her. I will not be singing the same tune for a specific other Persona game that we get to inevitably. This video's taken me way too long to finish. Later we learn that Medjed plans war against the Phantom Thieves unless we reveal our identities. Clearly we don't want to do that, but we need to keep this in mind. We finish exams and gain intel on Medjed over time. We eventually get messaged by Alibaba, who is willing to help us against Medjed. As long as we change Futaba Sakura's heart, Alibaba will help us out. We snoop around and realize that not only is Alibaba actually Futaba, but he's also linked with Sojiro. So we sneak into his house, and he catches us and decides to tell us about Futaba. This is where we learn that Futaba is actually just a shut-in because her mother died, and, you know, it was all very, very sad stuff. I didn't have this written in the script, you can clearly tell, but I do really like this arc. I don't know, I think it's very important to talk about. Before we researched Futaba, we kind of had suspicions that Sojiro was abusing his daughter, but that quickly gets squished when he tells us about Futaba. We continue to sneak into Sojiro's house and try to help Futaba because Medjed wants to leak Japan's nudes to the world, and we can't have that. Sojiro's dick pics are too sacred. We eventually figure out Futaba's keywords, and we start snooping into her palace.
It's stuffy. Yes, I know. But it still beats opening the windows to the hot desert air. Hey, On, can I have a drink? Didn't you have mineral water?
I drank it already.
How are the guys?
This is when the game starts to throw more difficult enemies our way. This palace is one of my favorites in the game, but it is a little polarizing to me. The length is perfect, the scenery is great, the battles are fun and start to get more challenging. I died 4 times in this palace. Well, why did Royal have to make this palace boss easy as shit? During the palace, we find out that Futaba's mother didn't actually die from suicide, but died from a mental shutdown. Futaba was told that it was suicide by the men in black. Once Futaba finally faces this, she actually comes into her own palace where her shadow is somewhat antagonizing her but also pushing her along to get her the results she needs, so she awakens to her persona, the Necronomicon. This happens during the middle of the boss fight, and she helps us beat the boss with her gimmicks. Even with casualties, I wasn't worried about this fight because Futaba just protects us from everything. The scope is cool and all, but the challenge is basically non-existent. His palace is still great, I just wish this fight wasn't easy. Because this fight isn't easy in the original Persona 5. It's probably one of the first walls you're gonna hit when you play that game. We enter the cat's asshole, and now Futaba needs to sleep for an actual fucking month. So we let her do that, and we start working on our confidants and social stats. We upgrade Pixie with our newfound Gallows fusion ability, which is going to be essential for move upgrades and resistance passive abilities. We also hang out with Kasumi, Yusuke, Chihaya, and Akechi, until Futaba wakes up and comes to LeBlanc. We remind her of the deal, and Medjed is eventually stopped, and now we all decide to help Futaba with her social anxiety. We each spend time easing her to a public environment. We eventually brought her to the beach, which I will say is much better than a bathhouse scene since the characters were just having fun. We eat with Futaba and Sojiro, and she tries to go to Akihabara later. We have to help her out since she got overwhelmed at the store, which then starts the Hermit Arcana. Futaba then gets Makoto to steal data from Sai's computer for possible targets. We head on a school trip to Hawaii, leaving Morgana and Futaba behind. I spend my free time there with An because, duh, I romanced her. Dumbass. While we were there, we noticed Big Bang Burger is also in Hawaii. We come back and the public wants us to change Okumura's heart. But the group can't agree on that, which causes Morgana to leave and attempt the palace himself. He feels like a bitch and he teams up with an unknown Persona user. We spend our time tracking Morgana at Okumura's palace. We find him with this beauty thief? We get run out of the palace and decide to research the beauty thief. We find out she is Haru Okumura, the daughter of Big Bang Burger CEO Kanikazu Okumura, who is the guy whose heart we are going to change. We track them in Mementos, they escape, we escape, catch Haru's fiance being a Minecraft YouTuber abusing the platform. We all stop him from being a bitch, and Morgana finally returns, and all he did was waste my time. Holy shit, fuck you, you fucking put. At least we got introduced to Haru, so there's something to get out of this. We are now fully capable of going through Okumura's palace. We need to stop him before he sells Haru off to her fiance. You know, the classic McDonald's scandal. This is the easiest palace so far for a couple of reasons. The main ones being that the enemies can't hurt me all that much and my confidant abilities are helping me greatly. Another reason is network fusion, and also the twins confidant. I can make absurdly high level personas for an expensive fee through network fusion. Then I fuse them with Pixie to get insane skills early on. We have Sword Dance, Zeodyne, Megidolion, Concentrate, Meteorama, Samara Karm, Repel Curse, and Null Ice at around level 43. All weaknesses covered besides gun, which sadly is impossible to cover. This palace is short, easy, and has what many consider to be one of the hardest bosses in the game. I didn't have trouble with it, and I actually really like the boss fight. Let me explain. I start by using Concentrate. Morgana takes out the first wave of robots in one fell swoop. Baton pass to Haru, she takes out the next. We baton pass to Ryuji, but he can't quite finish them, so we use a concentrated Megidolion to kill them. Next wave, Haru hits the buffed robot with Seo. I concentrate, Ryuji buffs my attack. Morgana hits the buffed robots with Garula, then follows it up with a Magarula. Then I follow up with an attack buffed concentrated Megidolion. This is when Okumura decides to use Sacrifice Order on the next wave of enemies, meaning I have to kill them quickly. Haru hits them with a Masio, I follow up with a Megidolion. I then use another Megidolion. Honestly, I probably could have concentrated the turn before, but whatever. Ryuji uses Swift Strike, Morgana uses Magarula, and the robots finally have a turn. They crit the cat, then kill him. They hit Haru hard and explode on her, leaving me and Ryuji. Now they are focusing on me, so I revive Morgana because he is the healer. Ryuji revives Haru and Morgana heals. The robots run and a new wave of enemies arrive. Haru hits one with Seo, I concentrate, Futaba heals us, I guard, I knock down with a shock technical thanks to Ryuji and Morgana. Haru uses Masio and baton passes to me so I can use another attack buff concentrated Megidolion, which kills off that wave. The executive director comes out and is our hardest hurdle to overcome. We just hit him a bit and Morgana lands a crit thanks to Miracle Punch, and I follow with a concentrated Zeodyne. He's already down to about half of his HP. He's charging up the Big Bang Order, which is a move that is devastating. Okumura lowers her defense and buffs the boss's defense. Mindfulness gives me SP, yay! The Big Bang Order killed the entire party but me. I revive Morgana, he revives Ryuji, I almost got killed by this robot, but I'm so slick. I revive Haru, we hit it more, and Morgana heals me. Boss uses Makarakarn, Haru puts a Tetrakarn on me, I concentrate. I have Ryuji use Zionga on the Makarakarn. Since he blocks elect damage, that means he's just not going to take any damage from that. And the Makarakarn is now gone. Morgana gets a crit, I hit with a concentrated Zeodyne, and I inflict the boss with Shock. And then we just lay into him with Triple Down and Sword Dance. Thank you, Static Electricity. Persona 5 Royal introduced abilities on personas, and these vary depending on the persona. They can be insanely crazy useful. Pixie's default ability is Static Electricity, which causes shock chains to go up if the opponent is down while hitting it with an electrical skill. Pixie, you fucking rock. Let's get back to the game. The fight is basically over, but Okumura sent out Cognitive Haru to try to finish us off. We hit her with some good damage, but then Okumura uses Sacrifice Order on her. She explodes and everyone in the party dies except me. I arrived at the party for that sweet experience, then Ryuji finishes Okumura off. Oh! He was that weak, huh? First try, huh? Alright. Alright. I'll take first try on that.
I leveled up.
That I had like 3 different close calls there though. Okay, so it wasn't as easy as I made it out to be, but to be honest, that whole fight was hype as fuck to me, and I felt very rewarding to do it first try. We learn more about mental shutdowns and how people put in requests and a separate person takes those requests and kills people through the metaverse. Lo and behold, once we leave... I have a ton of time to kill, so I work on social stats and confidants, maxing out Takemi and eventually learning more about how Kasumi is doing. We find her good luck charm and decide to return it to her. We head to Odaiba, and somehow the nav is activated and we see a palace of an unknown owner.
Beginning navigation.
Hey, is that...
This is basically a sneak peek to the best parts of the game, and we need to save Kasumi since she doesn't have the power to fight. We see some weird shit, and Kasumi awakens to her persona Sailor Moon style. This 3v1 ends quickly with massive damage being dealt. We leave, explain everything to Kasumi, and eventually ask her to join the Phantom Thieves. She declines because she needs to improve at gymnastics. She has her focus on other things, so it's completely understandable. After that, we spend more time raising social stats and modifying Pixie. After a lot of fusion experimentation, we have a Pixie with Sword Dance, Thunder Rain, Megadillion, Concentrate, Spellmaster, Repel, Curse, Null, Ice, and Endure at level 48. Network fusion is super broken if you know how to use it correctly, but god, I love it so much. The deadline hits and we watch Okumura's conference at Destiny Land.
Thank you all for taking time out of your busy schedules to gather here. Today, I'd like to elaborate upon the whole truth behind my company's labor situation. How my employees were forced to work under severe conditions. How lax we were with sanitation. And how my corporation acted as a whole to cover up every facet of this scandal. For all of this, I wholeheartedly apologize.
So are you saying all of this was done under your orders?
Yes, I am solely responsible.
We heard that dozens of your employees were forced to resign due to mysterious illness. Furthermore, these happened to be officials who stood against your proposal for overseas expansion. The same thing also happened to executives at competing companies who were looking to expand abroad. Is all of this true?
Yes.
Was it all coincidence? We'd like some answers.
About that, I have a critical piece of information to announce here today.
Here it comes. Okumura is going to say who's really behind the mental shutdowns.
I...
Okumura-san?
The police are showing up everywhere and we worry about Haru during this entire event. Flashback to the interrogation room, where Sai is invested in what we're saying because it all falls in line with her investigation. She's curious about the most recent target up to this point. Why did we go after Sai Nijima's heart? I mean, I would if you know. We're trying to lay low until suspicions start to blow over, eventually leading into the school festival. Weirdly enough, Haru still trusts us even after her dad fucking died, but I shouldn't question it because she has an axe and that's kinda cool. Eventually we have to help decide the special guest for the festival. Based on its votes, it's Goro Akechi, and we decide we may be able to get some info out of him. That didn't happen. We learn more about Akechi's past and get roped into helping him go through Sai's palace. He wants to steal Sai Nijima's heart so she can start looking through her correct lens of justice. She's currently too obsessed with rising in the ranks and getting promoted to make any rational decisions, and we don't want to be arrested on faulty charges. So he's recruited and we start infiltrating. I decide to fulfill more of the twins' assignments, and then I learn I cannot finish them. I need a bugs with Samarakarm, but you need to fuse Pixie to get bugs. So that's just going to be a no-go. Spoilers for the rest of the run, I guess, but this is the only Confidant that I didn't finish, and it is for this reason. So back to exploring, and let me just say that in the original game, this was by far one of the best palaces, and it's still phenomenal and royal. The vibe is fantastic and fits the symbolism, the music is great, and the little minigame challenges are just a treat. So much variety that all fits within the main gameplay mechanics. We find our treasure with no issues, I rank everybody up to where they need to be for the true ending, which means yes, I duel Akechi, and I bodied him. If it sounds like I'm skimming over the palace, that's because nothing important happens, because we're too strong at this point, so we just kinda wash anything that moves. Because of how easy the palace was, we can head on over to the boss fight. Which also wasn't too difficult, but then I forgot about the giant fucking gun that she has. If you didn't know, a huge ass gun is my only weakness right now based on the several times I reiterated it, so I died. Well, we live and learn, and by live I mean die, and by learn I mean learn. We win and see Makoto have a sincere heart-to-heart with Sai's shadow. I think that this and the interrogation are what causes Sai Nijima's heart to change. Taking the treasure doesn't have to be the only way for us to change a person's heart, and I think that this helps the game's message and keeps the palace unique. People can change even in the most dire of situations. This palace is fantastic. We need to escape the police that started surrounding the casino. We act the decoy and redo the very beginning of the game. Holy shit, Kasumi Yoshizawa! And we're back to the present, where we max out Sai's Confidant and convince her who the real menace towards society is. Some cognitive world shenanigans happen that involve getting Heinz a catch-up to shoot the cognitive version of Joker in the interrogation room.
I owe you for all of this. Thanks. That's right. You and your little friends were vital to our plan, and now it will be completed. Your popularity truly was quite stunning. That just made using you all the more worthwhile. Have you finally pieced it all together? Case closed. This is how your justice ends.
That is the interrogation room in Sai's palace, which still exists because we didn't take the treasure. The courthouse was the only thing that changed, meaning everywhere else the same as it would be in the real world. This means with the help of Sai Nijima's palace, we escape police custody and continue our thievery. We figured this out and executed this plan because Akechi loves breakfast, specifically IHOP. But Morgana was the only one talking about it. Months ago, that is. This is one of the most badass scenes in the game because it uses the knowledge of how its supernatural world works to play a massive twist to keep the story going. It also just invigorates me simply because of Joker's face in the interrogation room when he noticed the plan worked. This arc is so cool. While reminiscing on our grand rescue plan, we learned about a man named Shido, who Sojiro identifies as Masayoshi Shido, one of the current nominees for Japan's prime minister. He was working with Akechi to use the metaverse to cause a bunch of crimes and political scandals, and we learned this because Akechi slips up and says his name on a phone call. We hacked his phone earlier, thanks Futaba. While trying to find his pal's keywords, we find out that Shido caused our arrest and gave us a criminal record. We eventually learn his keywords and enter Shido's cruise. We learn how to get the treasure through some investigation. We need to gain 5 letters of introduction. From a politician, a former noble, a TV president, an IT president, and a cleaner. 5 mini-bosses to find and defeat. First we invest in cheese and explore. Politician, dead. Noble, dead. TV prez, dead. IT prez, fucking wrecked, baby. We reach the cleaner, and it was a clever ruse for somebody cleaning up corpses and useless people. He's a member of the Yakuza, and this is actually a neat fight because it's the only time you fight one of the ultimate personas. It's not hard, but it's cool. And bam, dead. As we leave, we're stopped by Akechi. He aims to kill us because we're ruining his plan to kill Shido. Shido was an absolute douchebag to Akechi and his mother, because Shido was an abusive father, who would have thought. Akechi is his son, and for years he wanted to get revenge on Shido for what he did to his mom, and in tandem, what Shido did to him. So we fight, and sure, he's harder than the duel we had with him. He's still absurdly easy, though. Still, I love this part of the game, just because of how they animate and write Akechi, and it really makes his character more interesting because he turned himself psychotic!
Here, I'll show you who I really am. Come, Loki!
Again, it's that persona.
What's going on?
Don't make me laugh. Justice, righteous, keep that shit to yourselves. You and your teammates piss me off.
He can use 2 separate powers? Then everything, even his appearance was a fake.
You're going down. I'll destroy you. Go down with me.
No way!
That bastard! He made himself go psychotic! Now, let's see you drop dead one at a time in front of your precious friends!
Damn it, he's lost it. Here comes!
Die! You are the trash of society!
Oh, he's gonna die. Well, that didn't last long. We did it! We send the calling card and fight Shido without any casualties. This fight has 5 phases, but even on my first playthrough of the original game, I never had trouble fighting him. After all these years, I don't think I died to this boss a single time. The crew starts sinking and exploding, Ryuji's very cool, then gets punished for it. Look, Ryuji's a real one and every Phantom Thief in this moment is just wrong. I don't make the rules, okay? That's just how it is. We do some Mementos requests while waiting for Shido to confess, and I tried to fight the Reaper, and died. And so I tried again slightly later, and died again. Well, Shido confesses, and nothing happens. Nobody cares, nothing changes, and we're confused. What do we do now? Here's what we need to do. We need to erase Mementos. All of society is warped and we need to fix it, so we head to the depths, defeating the Reaper on the way down.
Can't run from me! We ought to finish this! Pardon me.
Bring it.
Showtime! This is gonna hurt! Noir, leave it to me! Ready, set? Rest in peace! Perfect form! Good work, everyone!
While going down, we learn that we directed the way society thinks. They await others to decide how their life is lived, worshipping the Holy Grail. We also start finding out Morgana's origins little by little. We reach the bottom and face society's treasure, the Holy Grail. Let's destroy that fucking thing. The Holy Grail keeps getting healed by the veins of society and tells us how the masses need him. Hit it again! The Holy Grail changes cognition and causes the masses to forget about the Phantom Thieves. We then see Igor and the twins try to kill us, but we get through to the twins and they remember that they were once a single being, so we fuse them to create Lavenza. Igor was actually the god of control in disguise, forcing us to play along with his game. He intends to keep toying with us by giving us an offer, but we deny it because we aren't stupid. The actual Igor returns, and we go to recover our teammates thanks to the bonds we have made. Once that's done, Morgana comes out and explains that he was born here. We now have a new goal, Kill God! We rush through the Archangels to reach the Holy Grail while Life is Change plays.
Look, over there!
It seems guards have appeared.
The people in the city recognized us, so it's only natural we draw the enemy's attention as well.
Well, they can bring it on!
Ha! Penis! We cut the Holy Grail's veins and destroy it with ease. It then becomes Yaldabaoth, the God of Control.
Hey, we did get him, yeah?
Oracle!
Oh,
It's silent, but I don't know.
What the F is going on? This looks bad, you guys!
could it be?
What's going on?
The Holy Grail in its entirety. Is this real?
Guys, pull it together!
Give me a break.
I am the administrator, born of the collective human unconscious.
We have to fight him while he enacts the 7 deadly sins onto us. A god with several arms sounds difficult, but remember, this is Persona 5 Royal. We easily beat him and then the story plays out. We're on the brink of failing, but the masses start believing in us. We gain enough support and rebellious spirit that we summon Satanael and shoot Yaldabaoth in the face.
So you have failed to harness the power. No matter how many prayers of those foolish masses come together.
What the?
That's...
Man, it's huge!
What an immense power! No way. Is it a persona?
I don't believe what I'm seeing! What is that? Is that what Phantom Thieves doing too? That's totally amazing! Keep it up, Phantom Thieves!
Fools. This is what mad do. Impossible!
They're insanely strong! They're not just Phantom Thieves anymore! That's like some super demon lord! So awesome!
I see. If a god plays naughty, then it's a demon lord's duty to punish him. What better way is there for a finale as a trickster? Joker, we're entrusting our strength and the people's hopes to you. Put an end to this!
Pillage him. Satanael!
preposterous! You dare wrong the people's wishes!
We set society back to normal. Sainijima talks to us afterwards and wants us to confess to the police so she can have the upper hand in the Shido trial. But then Akechi comes out of nowhere and confesses to the police for us. We celebrate Christmas Eve with An and then Christmas with all the Phantom Thieves, plus other people that we like. Everything went our way perfectly. We saved the world from the God of Control and we were able to stay free from confessing our own Phantom Thieves waves to the public. This is such a happy ending for everybody. We wake up in a school prison, follow a butterfly while hearing our friends' voices and leaving the building. We came back to reality, but don't worry, there was gravity, and we head to the shrine where we meet with Kasumi. Some shit we saw was a little weird, but whatever, we have plans. We have things to do. While meeting Kasumi at the shrine, we meet all the others there as well by pure happenstance. We take our leave and meet Kasumi's father, who unintentionally hints at something more sinister happening. We speak with Akechi about what the hell is going on and eventually get a call from Kasumi telling us about the Odaiba construction site. We find out that it's a palace in which the ruler hides the name in the navigation app. We can head in because we went in way earlier, about 3 or 4 arcs ago. Go on a short romp with Kasumi and Akechi to learn more about what's happening. We go through a bit of the palace until we meet with the palace ruler, Dr. Maruki. Dr. Maruki has talked with us throughout the game about worldwide happiness and how he wished for everyone to be happy. We helped him in his research, not knowing how it would come to fruition. Kasumi has been toyed with the whole time, not knowing about her past. So Maruki shows her.
But if it's your true desire, then I want you to recall who you really are. And I want you two to learn as well. Once you have, you'll need to choose between the two realities. The merciless one, or the one I've formed.
Kasumi.
Kasumi was actually hit by a car trying to save her sister Sumire from getting hit. Kasumi wasn't able to survive the car accident, which means the Kasumi that we knew all along was actually Sumire. She loses all will at this point, and we try to rescue her from Maruki, but we end up fighting a demon and performing the best Showtime attack in the game.
Accept his mercy. Give yourselves over to him.
Would you just quit running your mouth already? Joker, I'm going to shut that thing up. Give me a hand. You'll pay. Let's go! You're so alive!
Underwhelming. Not bad for an improvised technique.
Maruki gives us a week to decide how we feel about his reality. Akechi is pretty stubborn about his choices, but we have a week to talk with everybody about it. We did just that and headed back with Akechi a week later. Sumire's persona goes berserk, and we have to calm it by fighting it. Thanks to the help with all of our friends coming in at the last minute, we were able to save Sumire. We bring her back and tell her to get rest and better herself. We all decide we need to fight back against Maruki, of course while teaming up with Akechi again. Levenza tells everyone about Maruki and how the metaverse has returned, with Sumire watching us all the while. We all decide to infiltrate Maruki's palace, and Sumire is waiting for us inside asking to join. We allow her since it seems she can control her persona. Actually, she's incredibly desperate to awaken, which causes one of my favorite awakenings in the game, at least in terms of character writing.
Violet!
Cendrillon! What? Her personas!
Not on my watch!
Please, stay back! I appreciate it, but allow me. I chose to stand on my own and fight. It's time I stopped being helpless. I hung my head low and took your hand. But I knew all along, deep down, pretending to be Kasumi was not the right way. The weak, insecure Sumire dies today! Violet! You were the one. The only one who stayed true to yourself. Come, Cendrillon! If you don't answer my call now, how else can we make our dream come true?
Such tenacity. It seems to fit you better than ever before. The glass slippers are the icon of glory. Not just for you, but the other girl within you as well. I am thou art I. Are you prepared for your debut? The ball awaits.
Certainly.
Okay, for real, Maruki's palace is one of the longest ones in the game with the most interesting aesthetic. A research lab is a pretty cool palace idea. Too bad it isn't hard. We get to a point where we need to go to Mementos, we go and disable the tendrils, collect all stamps, and fight Josie. He isn't hard as long as you keep buffs up, which I did. We move onward in the palace with no issues. Learn about Maruki's past, easily clear more Mementos requests, fight the Reaper again because I felt like it, evolve each party member's persona for a third time, and best of all, we have Pixie at level 99 with every stat maxed out. We have one last confrontation with Maruki about his reality, and we give him the calling card. We learn that Akechi will actually die in real life if we end Maruki's plan, and we will be put into custody, but we still decide to go against him and evolve Akechi's persona. Well, it's time to fight. We begin to head up to Maruki while the best song in the game plays.
I see you made it. Come on up. I'll meet with you at the center of paradise.
We go up to fight Maruki, and while this boss is an atmospheric masterpiece, it's not too difficult, although I did have a close call, but Pixie is too strong. We beat Maruki, and we have another phase that is heavily scripted where Maruki summons Adam Kadmon, which is very cool. Futaba finds his weak point and the Phantom Thieves buy Joker enough time to shoot the final bullet into Adam Kadmon's head, defeating Maruki once and for all.
His head is his weak spot. Though our attacks are ineffective in his normal state. But whenever he attacks, he drops his guard while concentrating all of his power. So if we can target his head as he strikes, we might have a shot.
We've come this far. We ain't gonna give up.
Yeah! You gotta do way better than this!
Don't underestimate our tenacity!
It's just another threat. We'll overcome it like we always do. If I run now, I know I'll regret it. We'll decide for ourselves what we want our lives to be.
I'm a bit occupied, so do your goddamn job!
Oracle, how does it look? Perfect. His head's defense level has dropped down to 0%. Go for it. Finish this, Joker.
Checkmate.
Morgana becomes a helicopter, don't ask, and Maruki pulls us down for a final one-on-one fight to get rid of Maruki's frustration. While the menu in this segment makes it a little silly, Billy Kimmett's performance here is immaculate, and I hope he rests in peace. Thanks for playing one of the best characters I've ever experienced in fiction, and I wish his family the best. He was gone far too soon. We escape the palace to get sent back to our actual reality. This causes the team to get confused about Morgana, Akechi, and Joker. After asking Sojiro and reminiscing, they realize what went down. They all band together to get us out of juvenile detention. Which works! Everyone talks about their futures and how they want to spend them. We talk to everybody before we leave, and we get ready to go the next day. We leave Yongenjaya and get ready to go to the train station, which is when we see some officials chase us. We split up and take a cab with Maruki as the driver, which is a serious downgrade of profession, but he's doing his work with his head held up high thanks to us. We walk to board the train, we bump into Sumire while Morgana pops his head out of the bag, we board the train and the credits roll. With a total of 14 deaths and a few years of work, personified royal Pixie only is completely possible, and it is complete. It was very easy. I plan on doing Pixie only for the other Persona games, but I need to work on other stuff, because this took me a while. Sorry it took so long to come out. But I swear, we're gonna move on, and I really was happy to replay my favorite video game of all time. There's so many games out there that this one scratches every itch for me, It is nearly perfect. It is just everything I value in video games is in this game. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.